Good evening, church. God is good, and all the time. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than the sparrows. Can we say that together? So do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Can you say that to the person beside you? So do not be afraid. Church, do you want to be successful in life? You've got to learn how to encourage yourself. Because there are days when you won't receive any encouragement from anyone else. You've got to do it yourself. There is this one passage in the Bible that I love so much, and said that David encouraged himself in the Lord. David encouraged himself in the Lord. That's in 1 Samuel 30-6. Let me tell you a story behind that verse. David and his men, 600 of them, went away to work and left their wives and children in their camp called Ziklag. Ziklag. 3 days later, tragedy struck. The Amalekites, sworn enemies of Israel, attacked and burned the entire village to the ground, and taking with them all the women and children as slaves. When David and his men arrived, the Bible says that his men wept until they could weep no more. Can you imagine 600 men crying at the loss of their wives and children? Can you imagine 600 men weeping over a pile of burning rubble that was once their home? You think that was bad? It got worse. The Bible says that this man, once upon a time fiercely loyal to David, wanted to stone David to death. I've noticed that when things go wrong, human beings want to look at someone to blame. We always want to look for a scapegoat to vent our rage. Imagine you were David. You just lost your family. Your kids were taken away from you. Your home is now ashes under your feet. You now own nothing except the clothes that you are wearing. And the friends that you thought were your friends now want to kill you. This is what you call an impossible situation. In other words, it's a Ziklag. Are you going through an impossible situation right now? Are you going through a Ziklag right now? Perhaps you just lost a job. Perhaps you lost your possessions. Perhaps you lost your friends. Perhaps you lost a loved one. In Ziklag, you have a choice. You can do what the 600 soldiers of David did, or you can do what David did. The 600 men wept and found one to blame, because hurt people hurt people. But I love what David did. In the midst of an impossible situation, he did the impossible. And what was that? The Bible said that David encouraged himself in the Lord. Let me explain what that meant. Normally, we get encouragement from people around us. And rightly so, because we are the body of Christ. When I feel burdened, the first person I go to is my friends, my best friends. Some of them are priests, but not all. They're my encouragers. They're the builders of my faith. When I tell them of my burdens, some don't even say anything. Most just listen. And I feel my burdens are lifted up from my shoulders. And I'm spoiled. God gave me the most fantastic friends on planet Earth. They're my super friends, my Avengers team. When I'm going through my struggles, I share it with them. And when I do, I don't feel alone anymore. But I believe that there are times, because I've gone through them, when we go through a Ziklag. Ziklag is a place that even family and friends that we depend on aren't there. Perhaps they're busy. or because they're far away, or because they themselves are going through the same struggle, or they're not there for us. And that's where you have to learn how to go to God directly. Ziklag is a place where your relationships with God goes through a whole new level. So do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Let me warn you. Ziklag is a burial place and a birthplace. It's where boys and girls are buried and kings and queens are born. Ziklag is a furnace. If you are made of wood, you will be pulverized. If you are made of gold, you will be purified. Ziklag is a rock. You can be crushed under the weight of the rock, or you can stand up on the height of the rock and see the world in a whole new perspective. Ziklag is a sword. It can kill or it can cut. It can kill your soul or it can cut the cancer in your soul. In Ziklag, David had to learn a very important life skill, a life skill you need to win permanent victory in life. You need to learn how to encourage yourself in the Lord. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Do not wait for others to encourage you. Do not wait for your spouse to encourage you. Do not wait for your friends to encourage you. Do not wait for your leaders to encourage you. You need to learn how to encourage yourself in the Lord. I don't know what David did specifically. The Bible doesn't say what he did, but I have a guess. Because I've been so many Ziklags many times in my life. And I know how I encouraged myself. I believe David went back into his own history to remember those special times when he saw God intervene in his life. Like when God rescued him from the bear and the lion. Or when God rescued him from Goliath with a stone and a slingshot. I have those stories too. I dig deep and I remember them. Like the day when God called me to the priesthood when I was in 4th grade. And I felt so unworthy because of my many imperfections. Not saying yes yet. Because I thought that I need to be perfect before I see my God. Or the day that God rescued me from my many wrong decisions in life. I also remember the small miracles in my life, and let me tell you one of them. When I was in high school, my grades were so bad because I did not know how to encourage myself. I had very low self-esteem. I even had to go to summer school after senior year because I failed one course or subject. That was very embarrassing for me. When I came to the United States in 92, that was 30 years ago, I was 19 years old when I met Jesus for the first time in a very intimate way in Dayton, Ohio, at a youth gathering of different faiths. I received so many compliments from my peers, compliments that I've never heard before. And I used those compliments to encourage myself. I use words like, I can do it all in Christ who gives me strength. Come, Holy Spirit. Jesus, I trust in you. I believe in you, Mario. Mario, I am proud of you. I said those words in college when I was having trouble studying, having trouble memorizing, having trouble reviewing for exams, having trouble asking for questions because I dare not ask questions of my professors, having trouble believing in myself, having trouble believing God loves me or is proud of me. I encouraged myself when nobody was able to do so for me. Like David, I need to encourage myself. Of the 500 who graduated from Benedictine University in Lyle in the spring of 1996, I cannot believe, especially my parents, that I finished third in my class because of my grades. I had almost a perfect GPA. Church, that's the power of encouraging yourself. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Can we bow our heads in prayer? And if your loved one is here, please hold their hand. Please hold their hand. Please listen to the words of Jesus right now. Do not be afraid. You are worth more than many sparrows. Heavenly Father, thank you. Thank you that in Jesus Christ, you have given us your divine encouragement. When I feel lost, when I am afraid, when nothing seems to make sense, give me the grace, O Heavenly Father, in Jesus Christ, to encourage myself and so find in you that perfect love and confidence. This is my prayer. In Jesus' name, amen. Amazing grace,